We're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. And I'm joined by like a football team today. I'm so excited.
Dude, we got a starting five, dude. Basketball.
This is really cool. I was just noting that the three that form the triangle, the Triforce in the middle, are in northern climates, and the two on the edges are in southern climates. So Patrick and I are like, we're like your warm sun and warm moon trying to warm you guys up in your cold, cold environments. Do you mind I appointed you to the sun position?
The warmth is radiating through the screen, Starfleet Boy.
Actually,
thank you.
I mean,
yes,
it's beautiful here. It is beautiful.
Patrick is Musaka, and I'm what was his name? Enkyo. What was his name? Colgano. I'm Colgano. Do you guys?
I don't know what y'all are
So this Star Trek: The Next Generation. Remember masks, like where Data, his his face turned. You don't know. Oh, you do not. Do you deny that episode?
Who doesn't remember math?
Oh, okay. Well, that's their name.
It was terrible.
It was Misaka and Quilgano, the sun and the
Thank you.
moon.
I would never have remembered.
Yeah, it was so bad I blocked it out of my head. It doesn't exist.
Oh no, we lost Patrick.
Dude, that Wi-Fi is bad, dude.
It's that Wi-Fi. He'll be back. This happened last time. I think he'll be back, unless we offended him with the masks reference. By the way, Jill, I also don't think Masks is terrible. It's one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek, but you can go back and watch that discussion.
No.
Today we're here to talk about Time Amok, the newest episode. Time Amok. Now I'm in the middle.
I pushed a button.
You pushed a button.
I meant to push the chat button, but I pushed the leave button.
That's awesome.
Did I say the word amok right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you did.
Because when I say the title from the original series, I say it differently, and I'm not going to do it now because it'll be on purpose.
And Patrick's real shady, dude.
I say something like Amok time. I think I say like Amok time or like
No,
Amok.
it's like,
I used to
it's
might
a-
I might say
Amok
Amok
sauce?
time or something like
no,
that. I don't know.
No, it's like isn't it a muck time?
It is
I've
Amok.
never
That's
said-
the correct way to
yeah,
say it.
I've
yeah.
never said it the other way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know
I've
what I
never
was
said it
doing.
the other way.
It's left over from childhood. It's also I also do use the proper pronunciation of when the workers threw their wooden shoes called sabot. I say sabotage, just like Captain Kirk does. So. That got a chuckle
Just like
out of there.
Valeris says that. Don't
That's right. That's right.
She does. She's
Valeris
saying it
does say
right.
that.
She does say
you
sabotage.
said Captain Kirk? Didn't you just say Captain Kirk says it? He does not say it.
He does say it like
No.
that. Yeah, in the original series, he says sabotage.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, it's like a thing.
Trash. Trash.
But we're not here to talk about the original series. That's Saturdays at 3. Today we're talking about Star Trek Prodigy. And I'm so happy to be joined by you guys. Thank you for coming back on, Patrick. We thought we scared you. I'm glad we didn't. And we have our special guest from the distant future in the furthest away time zone, Earl Grey Trekkie. Welcome.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
How do you say sensors?
Sensors.
Yes, that's right.
Sensor.
Sensors.
Sensor. Not
Sensors.
Sensors.
A sensor
Nope.
senses thing. A sensor. The sensor's
That's
a
what
person.
Tuvok says. That's
Yeah.
a Tuvokism.
And so Spock as well. I think he's the one who sensors. And then we have Marcelo here. Welcome back, Marcelo. It's nice to have you.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Pleasure being here.
By the way, a little channel update real quick. For those of you who tune into Starfleet Boy After Dark, Marcelo will be driving the ship. So he'll be the acting captain on the starship After Dark. So look forward to that on Friday, sometime after Text Trek, which goes on at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So check that out. And welcome back, Braxton. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm well, thank you. Very cold, but like I said, the you and Patrick's warmth is radiating through the screen, so I'm better.
Thank you.
Me and
appreciate
Esri
that.
are cold. Esri, aren't you cold?
She's a cutie.
Oh,
Jeez,
he's beautiful. I named him after Esri Dax because he is super duper shy. But he's found his strength somewhat, but he's really shy. He's a scary
Very
cat.
cool. Earlier today, I saw a tweet from you, Robbie, that said Ezri Dax is the most deserving to return. And I kind of want to see her in Star Trek Picard. That might be cool if she comes back in Star Trek Picard.
I do have recency bias, just because I recently watched After Image, which is her coming to terms with her new host, basically.
Oh, very cool. I put that on the list to go check out, so I'm gonna go do that. Does anyone want to give?
Has to help solve a murder?
No, that's
That's a different one, yeah. But we digress. Going back to Star Trek Prodigy, Time Amok. I'm gonna be so self-conscious now whenever I say the title. I'm not gonna say it anymore. But what did you guys think of the episode? Does someone want to give a quick summary of what was going on in this episode?
Sure, I will.
Yeah. All right. Sweet.
Okay. This week's episode is about teamwork. We open with Janeway doing an exercise with the kids where they got to get a chicken, a fox, and some grain across a river on a boat. And the kids can't get it right, so like everything goes haywire, and the and the program is shut down. So they end up going through an anomaly. That anomaly, there's like a wave that goes through the ship, and everyone goes to like a different time period. And like Django is moving fast, the Rock Talk is moving slowest, and everyone else is kind of in between. So Django is first, and unfortunately he blows up really fast because he's moving fast. But Janeway, as she goes to each person, she is learning something, and they're kind of working together, even though they are apart. And in the end, Rock Talk is the one who kind of summarizes all of everyone's experience and gets everyone out of the jam. And
she grows up so all
and
alone.
She said, like, in the end, she was like, I can't do this. But in the end, she was like, oh, like, I can. And this episode was an episode that I needed to hear because I'm moving and I have like all this stuff to do in like 10 days. And I was just thinking the other day, like, oh my God, like I can't. But you know what? I can.
You can, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, just think of it. If you ever feel a little stressed or like worried that you can't just put that holographic Janeway on and let her nurture the heck out of you and praise you and tell you she's proud of you no matter what. I love it. Yes. What did you guys think of it? EGT, do you want to go first? Wait, before you go, real quick, Trek on the Tube is here. He couldn't make it to the stream, but he wants to say hi, everyone, and a special hello to Patrick, because I don't know him, and I missed the opportunity to meet him. Yes, you did. You failed.
Hey, Toddy.
I almost failed, and I failed last week, so...
You didn't fail.
You didn't fail.
No one failed. No one's failed.
No, only Trek on the Tube fails. Sorry, okay, fine. I'll stop being mean to him. Patrick doesn't know. It's a joke. I'm just kidding. I love him. He's like my BFF ever. Like,
I know it's a joke. I'm just drinking.
And then Patrick also gives Spock credit. Tim Russ was copying the Spock pronunciation when he played Tuvok. So that's from our friend Tex Trek.
Pencil wise.
All right, EGT, take it away. What do you think about this episode?
You were asking.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, EGT.
I thought this was a brilliant episode because we get to see the team working together at the very beginning, and then when everything goes haywire, I was thinking, oh cool, this is very Star Trekky, I think something I've missed from Star Trek in the recent shows is maybe like, a really strong moral episode. Like we didn't have as many in Enterprise, but we usually had one really strong moral story. And so when we just go back to a Star Trek theme or time travel plot, it just it brings back like a, not a glimmer of hope, but member berries.
That word
it-
is forbidden from Starfleet Boy Actual, just FYI.
Okay.
You can use nostalgia, though. I appreciate
Nostalgia.
it.
And it was really cool because it was a very interesting idea. It was kind of like, it was similar to cause and effect, but obviously it's different. And they're all working together at different points in time. I'm confused exactly how that works, but
Ooh, I've got I wish Matt was here. I forgot to message him today, but I've got a lot of ideas about how it works. We can talk about it later.
and I was curious. I was thinking, does that mean we're going to see the crew of the Protostar aged? So just temporarily, are we going to see like an old Jankum Pog, or maybe a mature Dal finally, who's spent years alone in the Protostar and has realized, okay, maybe I need to become a better person. But no, we didn't get quite that extent, which is fair enough. It's a very clever character development tool to have Rock Talk have spent so long away, because now she has more appreciation for the crew, the people she has, and because before she was on the Protostar, she was on Tars Gomorrah, the prison colony, and she had no one. So then as soon as she has the crew of the Protostar with her again, that reinforces a family, and then having that been taken away from her again, I think just makes her, will hopefully make her feel stronger and want to get to know everyone more, and feel more loving, even though she was already very loving, which I think is a mistake. If you ask me, I think it should have happened to maybe a more, like a character like, I don't know, maybe Dal, but maybe that would be too quick for character development. So we'll see how it goes, but I thought this was a great episode. And I'm really loving Janeway, which is a fantastic surprise to me because I've not watched Voyager and enjoyed it.
Let that sink in for a second, everybody. No, just kidding.
Didn't enjoy Voyager. I loved Voyager.
I'm loving it so
Especially-
far, FYI. It was hard to get into, but when 7 of 9 arrived for me, it just like took off. It went like, so I am enjoying it. But yeah,
It makes such a difference.
this brings up a good point. You don't have to enjoy every Star Trek show or Trek. You don't let us bully you into watching it, even though we will do that. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to ever do that. But yeah, so you were saying, so even though you didn't watch Voyager, you're like really digging Janeway.
I've watched some of Voyager, but very little. Yeah, I'm loving Janeway.
Nice. Yes. Janeway's awesome. She was really particularly, this was like her episode actually, in a weird way, like hers and Rock Talks, I think, like if it had to be about anyone. Patrick, what did you think?
Patrick?
It sucked.
He's such a liar.
It was
We
terrible.
were watching your tweets today.
I
was
cried,
watching
y'all.
your
I
tweets
cried.
today.
I cried. I just adored it. I do think that it needed to happen to Rock, because I do think that Rock is the proxy for the
The kiddos.
for the
Like
for the
the-
viewers, for the children
Mhm.
viewers.
Yeah, the little ones, the wee ones.
Yeah. So I get why it happened to her, because like I do feel like she's in the age range that is the target for that. And like when Gwen asked how long, she was in her like little time thing, and Janeway responded too long, my heart leapt out of my body, left it completely, because she was just so. I adored this episode in every way. I don't know what more I have to say to it. I also liked the time travel mechanism, this idea of like the sine wave of time travel that we or time dilation, I guess, not time travel.
Well, yeah, there's
because it's not something we've done before. It's not something that Trek has done before, and we've had so many episodes like this. So bringing something new was good. It sounds like maybe David Allen Mack brought that.
yeah, and he was hyping it up, and
he
I
tweeted about it yesterday.
yeah, they were hyping it up, and I was like a little worried because like whenever something's like hyped a little bit more, it's like you run the risk of like overhyping, which like. But I was very impressed with the anomaly that they were caught into, and you're right, like the way it worked, like it wasn't as clear to me watching it the first time at like 3 a.m. I set my alarm to get up because I didn't want to wake up to any spoilers. But when I watched it again, I like understood it better. So I think this is an episode that like this is like an anomaly that like is very well thought out. And they were saying that like he David Mack was is David, right?
Mm-hmm.
David Allen Mack. Yeah, he was like really involved with the idea and like was like, hey, let's do this. And they were like, we didn't understand it ourselves, but we knew it was gonna be like it was gonna be awesome, and it's true, it really is. And even Aaron McDonald, I'm sure, had something to do with it. Like there's just a lot of like good like theoretical stuff going on there, and it tickled me, and I think it's like wonderful that like young audiences, that's going to be their first exposure to time shenanigans, as Trek on the Tube is saying. But it's true, these are time shenanigans. This is somehow a time shenanigan Star Trek has never done before. It's true.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say. I just thought that it was so great, and I thought that the time shenanigans was good. I do know that I think it was Aaron Waltke was saying that maybe like when Janeway did her log, the Stardate was super off, so it seems like it was already affecting them. So I don't know. Like as we know, this is apparently a very wimey of season. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. We're gonna dive deeper into like some of the Janeway stuff and all that stuff, but first I want to give Marcelo a chance to tell us what he thought of general thoughts about the episode.
I have a request. Can I make a request? Can Braxton go and then I'll go last?
Yeah, well, Braxton gave the summary, so Braxton's gonna just kind of recap that like a little bit. Okay. So all right, so you also don't have to tell us how you felt about it if you don't want to. We could go right into the discussion.
I'm here. If for those viewers who tuned in last week, you can remember that I was extremely negative about last week. That's all I'll say. And this week, of course, come on, Patrick. This week's episode really, I thought it was good. I really liked the lesson that they were trying to teach the crew in general to work together. And I did like how they explained this time dilation anomaly working properly. I thought it was a nice visual cue about how they did it. There's a couple things that I did not like. I didn't like the fact that when hologram Janeway came to Dahl in his quarters, he was playing a game, and it took him a couple seconds to realize what was happening. And
Dahl was useless.
Yeah, useless. No, but I think I think that comes from me not liking Dahl as a character. I think that he is rash, dumb, and immature. But he has room for improvement. Okay, he has room for improvement. But I didn't like the way that he was like a spoiled little brat in his room playing a video game when there was an entire situation going on. I didn't particularly like that, and I didn't like sort of. I understand why they did this, but I didn't like the fact that Janeway sort of had like the giant exposition scene of sort of like spoon feeding us what was happening. Because I'm sitting there going, I get it. You don't have to spoon feed me this, but I was like, this show is for children, so this is why they're doing this. So I didn't like that particular point. And the last thing I didn't like is when the clone of the Diviner's henchman, whatever his face is.
Yes,
when the clone of Dreadnought came on the ship, and Janeway confronted him,
Who
and
sounds
she
like
was like,
Zachary Quinto oddly.
Yeah.
But sorry, go on.
yeah, and and she confronted him, and she's like, "It was you," and I'm like, "Guys, I put this together in my head last week or 2 weeks ago." I'm like, "Really?" But
Yeah, but she's putting it together. That's
Right,
Janeway.
right, right,
I have to
right.
I have to defend that because it's her having the realization. We already knew
right, but
what was
I
going
wasn't
on,
done.
but
I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
done. I wasn't
Oh,
done.
sorry. Carry on. I
Say-
didn't mean to interrupt. I was doing so good. I didn't interrupt you the whole time, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
But saying that again, I understood why they did it, because the target audience of the show, like Patrick said, skews much younger, and sometimes younger audiences need a little bit, some more explanation to figure out what's really happening here. But I enjoyed this episode so much more than last week, because I thought last week's was just useless. So that's pretty much it. Unless you want to wait until the very end of the show to give our ratings, right?
Yeah. Come on, Marcel. We're gonna
This-
talk about it.
Did this
Okay,
episode
yeah.
get your lobes tingling?
My lips. Or your lips.
Yeah, little bit, just a little bit, tiny bit.
Wow. Was it the anomaly?
No, I just said, look, I just thought that this episode worked a little bit better for me, because last week I just couldn't stand it for some reason. This episode worked a little bit better.
Well, I have a few questions for you guys. Braxton, did you want to say anything more than you said in your summary? Because I think we got the idea between you and I gushing at the end that you enjoyed this episode too, and you gave a really good summary. Okay, cool. Did you guys notice she's the training officer and she can make logs like Janeway? Like, what's that all about? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean that is cool. I mean, I don't know what person on Starfleet thought it'd be. Hey, it's a good idea to give our EMHs the ability to do logs. I don't know what engineer thought that would be a good idea, but hey, why not?
And we now know her I guess her capacity is training officer. Like, that's a new kind of thing that's that's a job that was probably existed that got taken away and given to holograms. So like there used to, I'm sure there's training officers aboard ships, right, that like orient you and help you if you're a cadet, like to find your way and like all that stuff. Gone. It's all hollows now.
Yeah, but another mystery that I've had going through this season is, I'm like, how in the world did the protostar get to where it is? Like who took it there? Why did they take it there? And what do they want with it? Why did they put it there? I'm like, so I hope, because we have what, like 2 or 3 episodes left, so I hope that we get closer to some bigger answers, or we get closer to the bigger mystery of why the protostar is so special beyond the obvious reason of its engine.
Yeah, I think we're gonna find out a little bit more, but not too much more before the season this part of the season closes. Like this little batch. It's interesting. It's kind of like reminding me of short treks, how like we used to get little batches of it in between Discovery and I guess Lower Decks for a little while. Like, so it's kind of like filling in these little spots and stuff. Text Track reminds us that Janeway did say she was the training hologram way back when we met. I guess I just meant she has a rank, like she has an official capacity, a rank, like an officer. She serves, but it makes sense. I mean, like I guess that, but it makes me wonder if there's like sentience, even though there are some clues that Janeway Hollow might not be sentient or sapient, because like they did actually pull the wool over her eyes. She actually didn't know they stole the ship. I thought all along that she suspected or knew that these are not Starfleet cadets, but to her, she was like legit, like, oh, you're cadets, and this is your assignment.
She didn't seem shocked at the cadets thing to me, because she seemed kind of okay with the cadets, but then as soon as Dal said they stole the ship, she actually said something about it. But maybe I was just reading that wrong.
Yeah, no, she was like, you stole the ship. And then I like that like right after Zero's like, I have to explain this to you, because Zero's like the cool collected one that's like, you know, gonna be like, well, these people are actually like refugees and they're like escaped from like, you know, slavery basically. So stealing the ship was like a vehicle to freedom, and I can't imagine that Hollow Janeway's core programming would deny that. They deserved to take it. And I also like that that later on she's like, you know, it doesn't matter that you're not Starfleet cadets, like you're my crew and I'm here to help you. So that was kind of cool too.
The one thing that I would have done, which this is just popping into my head now, but it's absolutely perfect for me at least. When Rock Talk was all alone, I would have actually had him like singing and dancing to like a musical for some screwed up reason. Like I would have like him doing like Heart and Soul or something across the ship, or like for some reason I want to see if he can actually dance. I don't know why. I have no idea. I don't know where this came from. But I'm like, yeah, Rock Talk dancing to pass the time away on the ship. That would be cool.
She probably did do some dancing, Marcelo.
Off screen.
Off screen, yeah, it's true. I'm sure, but that would be cute to see it. Like, what song would they, like, what song, like, what kind of music do you think Rock Talk jams out to?
No, I mean
Taylor Swift. I think Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no, I would have
shake it off. Shake it off.
I would have picked. I mean, me personally, I would have picked something from like The Sound of Music or something like that.
Oh, I like that.
Like a song sung by the Van Tramp Children or whatever. But you know, it's just
I like that you call them the Van Tramp children.
Or the Von Tron children, or whatever the hell
It's Von Trapp.
Yeah, Von Trapp or whatever.
I like Van Tramp. From now on, it's Van Tramp for me. Like that's it. Like
there's Van Tramp. There's
Von Tron. No, it's been look. Honestly, guys, it's been a while. But the only reason that I chose that is because I believe it was last week or a couple weeks ago. We were talking about how a musical could work.
Oh yeah.
In Star Trek, and I was like, hey, well, if you wanted to do a musical, I mean, you would have nobody around, and it would be Rock Talk jamming to a musical for a while, and it would be like a couple minutes. It wouldn't be the whole episode.
Yeah, no, I'm all for musical. We do think Disco's gonna get it. Disco's gonna do the musical first, just because the sheer musical theater talent that's aboard the show already. So
they have literal Broadway stars.
Yeah, it's true. Did you guys know about the Fox Chicken Grain puzzle? Like, did you guys do that when you were a kid?
No.
Does anyone remember the solution? I know it,
but I didn't remember the solution. But I do know that it involves. When Zero said something, I do know it involves like you take like the fox and the grain over at once, like together or something like that. Like it's because the fox won't eat the grain.
So you take the chicken across first. You leave the chicken there. You come back. You grab the grain, and then you take the grain. Oh, you grab the grain. Yeah, you take the grain over, and you grab the chicken, put it back in the boat, bring it back across, leave it there, bring the fox across, because the fox is not going to bother the grain. Then go back and get the chicken and come back across, and you've got them all across safely. I know, it's like I had to look it up, but I remember solving it when I was a kid. So I didn't solve it. I didn't like just remember the solve. But yeah, like it's a cool little puzzle. But I love that Janeway was like sensing the crew's despair after the previous adventure was like basically a bust, and she thought like this team building exercise. I loved it. It was like a cool little team building thing to get them back in the mode of working together. And it turns out like they had there was a greater threat that ended up doing that. But I like that there was this little mini kind of preview of what the bigger picture or the lesson of the story was going to be. Which, by the way, do you guys watch Kate Mulgrew do her lessons on Twitter?
Yeah,
I didn't get to see today's.
I didn't
get to see today's either. But I love those. Like, to me, it's like those are treasures. I hope they're on the Blu-ray. I'm sure they will be on the Blu-ray. It's very cool. But yeah, that was the solve for the fox chicken grain puzzle, and I just loved it because I remembered it from like elementary school. What else? The other question. Oh yeah. So the Diviner and Dreadnought, let's talk about them a little bit, because we get a little bit more information. So like apparently we found out that they had this like code on the Protostar last time, and now we found out that Rock Talk. We remembered seeing like Janeway saw Dreadnought. I confused them. Dreadnought was coming through into the bridge in that like little, Chakotay piece that was going on. So apparently they put some like invasive code aboard the Protostar, which allows them to do things like the Diviner was able to like basically send Dreadnought's consciousness through a transmission and build his body using the Protostar's vehicle replicator. And I thought that was brilliant. Like that was a pretty cool thing. What did you guys think about that?
It was a cool sequence. I was just unhappy with the execution, and I thought about something else. I want more.
You tell us.
Yes, I want more Diviner, because I feel in this half of the season he's just been a guy on a planet saying that he wants the Protostar, but we really haven't seen his evilness. So I would really like to see him do some evil, shady stuff. But it's not going to happen because this is a kid show.
But I don't think that the Diviner is supposed to be evil in the traditional sense.
Okay.
I think the Diviner is supposed to. I mean, this is evil people believe this. I think the Diviner believes that what he's doing, like, is to save his race or whatever, like, for a better purpose.
Okay. No, but I didn't actually consider that. That's a great point, Patrick. But I didn't.
Well, how chilling was it? So we see more of this conflict between the Diviner and Dreadnought, like, and how chilling was it when Dreadnought's like telling Gwyn, what the Diviner doesn't see, but what I know is that you're his greatest mistake. I was like, what? Like, are you serious? Like,
to put that in a kid's show.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's dark.
You should have had an abortion.
Oh my god, it's basically what he said. It's terrible. Wow. That's terrible, but it's basically what he was saying. He's like, and it's very interesting. I don't understand, because he calls the Diviner his master, but yet he's like very what's the word, like he contradicts the Diviner. He doesn't agree with him, and the Diviner doesn't seem to care. He does it openly, kind of, right? Like, it's just like the Diviner's like, whatever, I'm just chilling here divining plans, like, I'm not worried about what you think. Dreadnought, go do my bidding. Like, I don't. It's like,
maybe the Diviner built Dreadnought so maybe that's why he lets him mouth off, because he built him like that for some particular reason, or he could have. I don't know.
I got the feeling he did build him.
Yeah,
that was my personal feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead.
Throughout this season, I've been saying I've not been in love with the Diviner, but I've been looking forward to the potential. But I think I'm not against the Diviner, and I'm sure that he will grow as a character more in some way, but I don't find, maybe it's just I don't find Dreadnought particularly interesting. I find him very one-dimensional, and we probably will get some nuance and some depth for the Diviner, which I look forward to. I think even his performance is good, but something about Dreadnought's voice and him just being this evil robot maybe doesn't jive with me, and that's fine. I think Dal actually got a decent amount of work in this episode, even if he wasn't the highlight of this story. He was always looking down on, what he... When he was in his room, he was playing his game, but I also saw that as maybe he feels like he's not good enough as a captain. He's been trying to prove himself as a captain for so long now, and even when Janeway was trying to help him with the core, he was saying, no, I'll mess it up. I always mess up something. So even just that gives me more insight into his character, that he's got more going on than just being some egotistical brat. There's a thought process going on that maybe isn't completely clear, but I don't think he's just some spoiled brat that's
Braxton disagrees with you 100%. He thinks like
that's fine.
No, I'm just kidding. But you bring up a really good point. You bring a really good point, because I thought it was really one thing I noticed in this episode upon rewatching it is that Janeway. What I liked about having this like device, this like, you know, vehicle of like separating them all the kids into their own like separate timeline, so to speak, right, was that we got to see this thing that we normally, I guess, we haven't had an opportunity to see in like, you know, in a great detail. But Janeway's different with every single one of them. She has like a different way of talking to, like when she was talking to Rock Talk, she's very like sweet and like calm and like almost like nurturing, like, you know, because she knows Rock Talk's nervous and like also young, very young. I think Rock Talk's meant to be the youngest of the group when she's but what I loved is like when she's talking to Dahl, it's literally like a mother and a son. Like it's like she's very personally invested in him, and you could tell because like she doesn't do those things. Like she took away his video game, and like the way she was encouraging him was like how like a parent might like see like a trait that could be could perhaps be like, you know, a way in. So like she uses his like ego and sense of like, you know, like you know, he's like very brave, I guess, in a way, and like kind of confident in normally, not in this episode so much, but like she like brings him back to that by saying like, you're gonna use your you can do this, you're gonna use your ingenuity. Like that's such a great word and a great attribute to give to someone, and by giving that to Dal, she like inspires him to like build this like thing, and he does it, he nails it, except for that last little moment. And then that's a beautiful scene too, when he's like, I told you I was gonna mess it up, but she holds his I'm gonna cry, she holds his hand, and he's like, now what? And she's like something like, I forget what she says, but it's something like, we'll get through this together, or like, you know, like, and like for all intents and purposes that's his last moment. Like that was the end of his, we actually saw these guys die, and even Jankum Pog like says like, oh, I remember dying, right? So these were all their last moments, and Janeway was there for each of them, except Murph. She just disappeared from Murph's space, but like she was really there for them, and I just loved. I think that was like, you kind of like triggered that with your description of Dal's character in this episode, because it's true, there was a lot more. Like I think it's, yeah, we can focus on the fact that he was a brat and he was in his bed like playing a video game, which any teenager would. I can't be too hard on him for that. And oblivious to what's going on outside of his bedroom, you know, but like at the same time, when he was called to action, he like really shone through, and like it was just really sweet to see their relationship. That was like probably one of my favorite sequences of the episode.
I think you have to remember his headspace, maybe, because he's just coming off of learning that his mother sold him off to a mining kind of prison colony that he, well, let's just say he spent years living there. He's probably thinking, I can't wait to see my mother, or some face that he knew. And then he helps her, and he thinks he's doing the right thing and being the captain and being in the leading position. And then it all crumbles from underneath him after he's already been trying to be this kind of role model, but he keeps failing, and you have to think about what that does to a person's their feelings, and maybe why he's on his own and not interacting with other people, just playing games. He's maybe looking for an escape. I did think it was a bit convenient that no one noticed that they were heading straight for this temporal anomaly, this big cloud, big colourful cloud, but that's just a nitpick. It was actually beautiful, exterior shots.
Janeway's hollow is like has only partial data. Like some of her memories are gone. She doesn't know what's going on. So like she actually had said it earlier that she doesn't know how the protostar drive systems are off of her plate. Like she doesn't have access to them, so she doesn't know its schematics or how it works or anything like that. So I thought it did make sense that she wouldn't even think like, oh, this tachyon storm is gonna harm the prototype. But it's Jankum. I love that scene too, where Gwen's just like, oh, the gravity might be a little wibbly wobbly or whatever, and he's like, no, and he like runs off like to go do something to like stop it from happening. But yeah, like I thought it, for me it held up that like no one noticed. But yeah, like maybe the computer has been so hacked that it doesn't operate like like it should, and it didn't do its automatic detection or warning systems, and stuff like that. But we've also seen that occur numerous times on Star Trek, like where like it's almost too late before like the sensors pick up like this dangerous anomaly or something. So I kind of like thought it was fitting. Going back to the diviner for a second, there was a bunch of comments and I just want to highlight a few of them. Time Shenanigans says, I'm with you, more diviner please. Tech Trek is saying, I think the diviner will turn good before the end of the show. What do you guys think of that?
No, please, no.
Like that's not what you want. Okay.
That's all. Well, that's all I'll say. No, please, no.
Tech Trek is saying the end of the show. That could be like 10 seasons from now.
Like, but still, no, please, no.
Okay.
And I don't know enough.
I'm sorry, Patrick. Go ahead.
I don't know enough about how children's shows work.
Yeah,
to know if that's like a trope that they might feed into. If I knew more about children's shows, like especially Nickelodeon's kind of shows like this or other stuff that the Hayman brothers have done, it might give hints. But yeah, I have no clue. Sorry, Marcelo, you go.
No, I'm sorry. I'm the one that interrupted you. If we're to believe that Prodigy is going to have multiple seasons, which it will have, I do not want one villain for the entire show. That is something I don't want. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
Okay, cool. Braxton, what do you any thoughts on that? Do you think the diviner will turn good before the end of the show?
Probably not. I feel like he's got his motivations. Like Patrick said earlier, I don't think that he's evil. He's just got his own motivations, and I don't know what they really are besides wanting the ship for some other purpose. So I don't know.
Trek on the Tube speculated that they're setting up, I think it was Trek on the Tube, it might have been someone else, but speculated that they're setting up, what's his face, the robot. Oh, I also say robot instead of robot, like everyone else, but Dreadnought, that they're setting up Dreadnought to like be the true bad guy. Like maybe before Gwyn arrived, Dreadnought was able to manipulate the situation and control the diviner, but now that there is Gwyn, and maybe like seeing Gwyn doing like wonderful things, amazing things, like defiant things, like her own thing might endear her, like that might appeal to him as this like like this figure. And so like there's a possibility that in the end he'll come through, but then Dreadnought's like no, and he'll be the true villain. But that I mean, it looks like they might be setting that up, but who knows? Like it's a possibility. So I can kind of see this like happening, but I'm not sure. Time Shenanigans says evil people always think they have a reason for their evil. This is true. The diviner is really too scary for this show. He freaks me out each time he pops up. He's pretty scary. Between the betrayals of Gwyn's father, Dow's mother figure, and now Dreadnought saying Gwyn's existence was a mistake, this is kind of a rough on kids at times. That's why you don't plop your kid in front of the TV all by themselves to watch these shows. You gotta watch them as a family so you can talk about it and like explain what's going on and help them reason out what it means to be a human. But yeah, exactly, it is scary, but I don't think it's scary when you have a parent with you watching. But if I were to just plop my kids now, I love my parents. I'm not, I don't have kids, but I love my parents, but they did plop me in front of Sesame Street a couple of times. But I think that's a really safe show to plop your kid in front of. So, I mean, what could go wrong on Sesame Street? How subversive could it be? Like it's like, no, come on. No, it was
Rocco.
Rocco. True. I don't see this evil turning good from Stress Free K. If the diviner just told the kids his goal, they could all work together. True. That's a good point, but we don't know what it says really. Jill, you need to help the diviner. So exactly, time shenanigans. Each episode, these evil parents become more evil. Dal's mom can stop selling him out. So just to be clear, we did see Dal's parents on Murder Planet. I think that like something happened that separated him from his true parents, and then he ended up in the care of the awful Ferengi Nandi character from last week. Yeah.
Let me just offer this possible explanation as to Dal's parents. What if Dal's parents pulled a Ray sort of thing, and they sort of sold Dal to the Ferengi woman because they needed money?
Oh, that's not what happened to Ray, by the way. I don't know where you're reading that from. Like, she didn't get sold for the money. It was because they wanted to protect her from the Emperor.
Yeah, but that didn't work, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
No, but here's another thought that I had just a couple seconds ago. You guys mentioned, or the people in the audience mentioned, that the show is too dark. Here's something that would be really cool, but it's not going to happen. What if Gwen at some point has to confront her father, and in order to stop him, she has to kill him?
No.
And I'm like, damn! If that were to happen, damn, I would love that, but that's never going to happen. And oh my god, I would lose my mind. And also, that would give the writers an opportunity to talk about death and how we handle it. Right? Come on.
I don't know.
Guys.
I don't know if I want that to happen.
Oh,
but yeah,
come on.
it's a good idea. It's a good idea for the adult version of Star Trek Prodigy.
Okay, but you guys do see that if Gwen has to commit murder, right? That will give the show an opportunity to talk about death, and it'll give Janeway an opportunity to teach the kids who are watching this show about death and how we're supposed to deal with it.
I think we're gonna get there. I think we've been seeing kind of this thing, and I just want to say that I've never forgotten my Cation kitty cat. Like, where is she? Like, what's happening with my Cation? The little kitten.
Cat.
Yeah, kitten.
She's probably starving.
Question from the audience. So will
Probably
Rock Talk
dead.
be science officer now? So like, interestingly enough, they're all falling into like these like roles, right? Like, so we have, but like, what would Zero be? Because he seems like the science officer to me a bit.
I think that Zero is going to be the one that drives the ship.
What?
No, I think he's going to. I think he's going to be the helmsman. I think he's going to drive.
That fits. Sorry, that fits 100% with the Medusans and like Star Trek the original series. So sorry, I didn't even.
I think he's
don't
like
know how I forgot
helm
that.
/ operations kind of.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then Rock Talk Science,
Jenkin Pop Engineering.
Jen Campag Engineering. We have Communications, Gwen. We have Dal being the captain or command, and then we have Murph being security. It's perfect. Murph is the perfect security officer. Yeah, Murph can swallow you whole.
Really?
Like, yeah, he can just totally swallow you up. You're done. Like, if Murph wants to mess with you, you're not gonna he's super. I think Murph is indestructible. I mean, it makes sense that your security officer would be indestructible, right?
I guess. I will say Murph is interesting. I think we're going to find out a lot more about Murph. But everyone beforehand was like, oh, Murph is like, everyone loved Murph. And I'm like, I'm over Murph. I'm over it. Rock Talk is my girl. Riley, the voice actress.
She's so cool.
Just
adorable.
Protect her like she was my own. She could be my own. I am of the age.
How old is the actress?
I think curious. 10 maybe or 11.
Okay.
I don't think she's much younger than that. Maybe she's like 9. I don't know. She's young. She's the youngest. She's among the youngest I've seen. But she's holding her own. She's a great actor, a voice actor. She really delivered that technobabble beautifully. Like, I mean, I wrote it down actually. The scene where like it actually, it made me cry both times, but like it was crazy when she's like, "Your memory buffers never got overwritten, so I was able to restore you," and I'm like, "Ooh!" like it was like so bad.
The reason why I ask, do you think that they're going to age up these characters? And
Well, we
if
got
they
a little
do,
bit of an age up for
Right.
her for Rock Talk because
Oh, no, because the reason I bring it up is she's only 10 years old. By the time the show is over, her voice is going to change.
oh yeah.
So I'm like, either they're going to have to recast if they want to keep the Rock Talk at the same age, or if they want to age up the characters, which is what I think they're going to do. It'll be fine then. But I was curious to see what
I
the
don't
panel thought about that.
I don't know what the plan is, but I think the show. I hope the show goes on for like a long time. Like I've seen like these like kind of one. I don't like watch too many shows anymore since I'm not a kid, but like they tend to have like lots of seasons because they can just like it's entertainment that can last or like it is timeless in a way. But I think Rock Talk would be a great vehicle to show like someone growing up, like going from like childhood to like an older age, and like maybe as she gets to a certain age, she'll transform into a different type of Rock Talk looking person. Like maybe this is the infant
Puberty.
for puberty, so like that would be a great way to deal with puberty and stuff like that. And maybe the Rock Talk that like comes, you like this, I love it. Yeah, so the Rock Talk that like comes later, so we'll see puberty happening, and it's a lot more interactive than Groot, but the same idea, like where we see teenage Groot and like Groot's getting older in each iteration. But Rock Talk of course talks and has like lots of things to say other than "I am Groot," like which
Yeah,
I get that there's a lot being said when Groot says "I'm
I
Groot,"
don't.
but
Yeah, I personally don't think that this show can go on forever. I
well, I don't
think
think
that
any show can go on forever. Although that would be really cool.
yeah, yeah, but I
What is that?
think
The never-ending epic in Garrick's thing in the Cardassian
Never-ending
epic?
sacrifice.
The
yeah,
never-ending sacrifice.
I
It's
think
like-
I think at maximum this show is going to get the lucky number 7 or 8 seasons,
yeah, I hope
and
so.
that's going to be
It
it.
deserves it so far from what I've seen.
I can't imagine it going any longer than that. Sorry. Read the question.
No, it's good. I hope it goes on for like 10 seasons. Just me personally, but but a lot of all age shows are pretty sophisticated. Text Trek says most start out as simple and then they evolve and get more complex as they go. Clone Wars and Rebels are both good examples in this. That's true. That's a good point. And I think Dreadnought and the Diviner will turn on each other. So yeah, Text Trek agrees with that assessment. Let's see here.
What if
It's
the
not a
kid-
good idea to have villains on shows for children to be too nuanced, because kids seem to see the good in everyone naturally and not realize some people are dangerous. Huh. Well, we have Dreadnought who's going to be that, I think, but like at the same time, I kind of like the idea that kids will keep. I kind of want to encourage people to keep that idea of seeing the goodness in others for as long as possible, because life will beat that out of you. But but if you can hang on to it for a long time, it's a good thing.
It would be
Sorry, that got
interesting
dark.
if Gwen had to face the Diviner again, and you have to have some kind of emotional resonance with her and the Diviner. You can't just have. I think maybe part of what I've not been enjoying, and we're only 8 episodes in, is that the Diviners in very short sequences kind of like just giving orders, and that becomes a bit uninteresting after a while, or he's being a bit stagnant. He's always in the same place on his ship now, and it doesn't seem like they're progressing too much, but they are now, I suppose, because Dreadnought has done his thing. But I suppose you can't really go either way, because if you show this character to be just have went down a wrong road too far, then you might be teaching kids the wrong lesson. In the same way, the other way, if you're teaching them, no, he's this horrible, horrible, horrible person, then I think you have to strike a middle balance. So maybe Gwen feels regret and sorrow and comes to some understanding with the diviner, but the diviner is handed over to the Federation and is imprisoned, or he gets his punishment, but he's not painted as just a black and white villain. I don't think he can get away with what he's done because he regrets that. No.
Did you guys notice that when Dreadnought gave the command to the computer to erase Janeway, that he did it in Chakotay's voice?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yep, he did.
He did it in Chakotay's freaking voice. It was like, I don't know if it was like 100%. Patrick, you have to go watch it again now. See, he did pull like a data. He did it in, so the ship still recognizes Captain Chakotay's command codes.
Now I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I did not realize that, and I do wonder if it was actually Robert Beltran or Jimmy Simpson, who is a phenomenal actor, by the way, trying to do his best.
It sounded to me like Jimmy Simpson trying to do Robert Beltran, because it wasn't like overt. Like, Text Track confirms. Yep, Robert Beltran voiced that part. Oh, sweet. I didn't realize that. That's cool. I just know. But it did sound like they mixed it between the two. What's your theory?
What if the diviner is just a really aged Chakotay?
No, I don't like that.
No, but hold on.
But it's good. It's a cool, wild theory.
No, I thought about no. For a second, I thought about this. What if the robot dude? Sorry, guys, I'm not good with names.
Dreadnought.
Yeah. What if Dreadnought is like? What if our Chakotay is dead, and what if the diviner took the brain of Chakotay and stuck it into Dreadnought?
So dark. That's so dark. That's so dark. It's a great idea, though.
Not done. You're not done. Wait a minute.
This is too dark.
And look. And
I kind of love it, though.
Look. And the reason why
Catherine, I love you so much. Like, sorry, no.
The reason, look. The reason why Dreadnought is so distrustful of the diviner is because he's noticing that something isn't right about his programming.
Yeah, but why would he say that like awful thing to Gwen? Chakotay would never say that to a person. Another person.
Okay, but
wait, Patrick.
Hold on. But wait. Perhaps before the diviner, took Chakotay's brain and put it into the Dreadnought, perhaps
it's too dark.
He put like he put some chips in his brain to like block some of his memories.
Yeah, I mean, like,
right?
I mean, that would be the MO. That's what they did to Janeway.
I mean, this is way too dark.
It's way too dark.
But it would be really cool.
I see a really good Short Treks horror movie edition, Halloween edition coming. What if Star Trek? Wow, Robbie's like chuffed at it. Robbie's like, we're cracking Robbie up. By the way, Saturday Night Live is a never-ending show. There is such a thing. I stand corrected. I said there's no such thing as a never-ending show, but for all intents, I don't think it'll ever end. Do you guys think Saturday Night Live will ever end?
No, I think the show will end when Lorne Michaels dies.
No,
because
I think he's already setting himself up to retire. He
may have been dead for years too. It's possible that
have you seen it Berniesing him?
It's
just a puppet.
Marcelo's allowed to get dark. Me too.
But seriously, I don't think that Lorne Michaels is the type of person that would give away his empire to an apprentice. I don't think that he's the type of person to do that.
He did it once.
Did he?
Well, I don't think it was his choice, but he did get fired once.
Oh,
and in the mid '80s, someone replaced him, and it was terrible. And then they brought him back.
Yeah.
You can get fired and rehired. Look at Eddie Murphy. Didn't he get fired and rehired?
And
Yeah, it's
and
like-
James Gunn, don't forget.
James Gunn, that's right. Did we hear Disco is officially renewed for season? Yes, we heard.
Yes, we
We're rooting for it. We're
did.
so good.
Whoop, whoop.
Let's hear.
So
Endless
stupid.
Trek as far as the eyes can see. We're kind of in that with all the shows combined.
Love
Like
it.
it feels like, yeah, we are like speaking of that real quick before I think we're coming about to the hour, so we'll probably wrap up soon. But just yeah, it's a great announcement this week that we're gonna get so much Star Trek. They gave us some release dates. Father was close on his predictions, but not quite. Close but no cigar. That's what Dreadnought says to Janeway. Close, but not quite, or something like that, right? Like he kind of says that to her. Like it was really good. Oh my god, I love that. I think Dreadnought and Janeway are gonna face off because they have to, because Janeway needs to put that little
Okay.
in its
Okay.
place. Like just saying.
If this were Starfleet Boy After Dark, I'd say something else.
I would too.
Okay.
It's true.
Okay, but in order to fight Dreadnought, does she need like a physical mobile emitter?
Yo, Rock
Because-
Talk is a genius now. She just upgraded her skills like through this like
Yeah.
temporal anomaly. She's like super
so-
good. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Also,
so
she
she can
wanted
build
to
a
hug
mobile
Janeway,
emitter.
so she's
Okay.
gonna be like, Janeway, I got you. Here you go.
Mhm.
You can now touch and hug and like everything else, and you can be off the ship, and you can go fight Dreadnought and beat his A. That's right. That's what's gonna happen.
I was just having a really dark thought.
What if
Go ahead. Oh, Patrick, I think you froze. Go ahead.
Let's have it, Robin.
no? Let Robbie.
Oh, go,
No,
Robbie.
no,
Go,
it's,
Robbie.
no, it's fine.
On you go.
It's silly, really. I was just thinking when you were talking about Endless Trek. I was just, as far as I can see, I was just thinking of Icheb and how his eye.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, Robbie, you're gonna be really entertaining when you come to After Dark on your 18th birthday. Like it's gonna be really interesting.
Also, one more thing. I also just remembered a really touching moment in the episode when Rock Talk was kind of trying to remember, or at least see, the memory of the crew, through the holodeck, and just kind of say like, oh, we should have did what Zero had said, and also the fact that she was saying hello, or I think she was saying their names as she was waking up to their bunk beds.
Good night.
Yeah, saying good night.
Yeah, it was really sweet. I don't want to end before talking about Gwen a little bit more. I know we talked about like how she, gosh, look at where this show's at. We're like 8 episodes in and there's so much stuff going on. It's like a lot of drama. Like it's great. I love it. I mean, the adult side of it is pretty entertaining. I mean, it's still very I agree with Marcelo. It's very tame and very explanatory where it might not need to be for an adult, but I love the mix that we do get. It's pretty cool. I love it. But anyways, Gwen was pretty great too. She that was a sweet moment when she sits in the captain's chair and she gives her final captain's log, and she actually is the reason Rock Talk, she calls Rock Talk to action. She's able to I think she did great. That face off between her and Dreadnought, aside from that exchange, also was great. She got him to fix it and then she ejected him. Sadly, the whole thing got ejected out. So whatever, she failed in her timeline. But yeah, it was a really good move. I also we didn't really talk about the time anomaly, but you were talking about how it's a sine wave. I enjoyed how things were connected, in each of the different time zones, if you will, so that if Dow built the thing that stabilized the drive, Gwen had to find the part for it. Zero came up with the design. Jankum was the one who found out what was going on in the first place, and was he actually was the one who was trying to do it in the first place, but he had no time at all. Murph gave a gravity boot as a gift, in his scene, so Murph even contributed too, and I just want to say that so that was pretty cool. and I like the visual when Janeway would switch back and forth between the different time zones. Like you actually saw it like a roller coaster, like a wave actually. And I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but I saw like a Star Trek 4 reference, like seeing these gigantic versions of their heads, like kind of like, you know, like go by. Did you see that too?
You're not the only person that said that.
Cool.
That. I need to rewatch to feel if I get that, but someone tweeted that. I don't remember who.
Oh, cool, cool.
Or no, it wasn't that someone tweeted it. One of the mission log people put it in their Discord.
Oh, right.
About how they got big Star Trek 4 vibes from that. Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot going on in terms of that. So I just loved all the visuals of it and that like interconnectedness. I think like the kids, like I feel like, you know, every generation gets smarter, thank goodness, for the most part. Like I think, you know, Robbie, your generation's doing a good job. You're a good representative for your generation. You're very like, you know, smart.
Not after all the dark jokes have been made.
No, it's okay. You can let loose a little, Robbie. We allow it. But
computers and phones are making people less smart. You don't need to remember things and calculate things.
But they're getting smarter in other ways, like Braxton. Like that, it's like you're right. Like that's true. Like, but like the brain only has.
In what ways?
Resourcefulness, for example, like not having to store things in your mind frees you up to be more like think about things in a non-linear fashion. Like I think like I'm a big, well, we could have this debate like on another conversation, but I'm a big proponent for the evolution. Like now humans can't really evolve physically much more. We've kind of reached the peak of that, although I heard we're losing our pinky toes, but like because of shoes.
Dude, yeah, but 20-year-olds barely know how to socialize, dude.
Like,
no, I don't agree.
I have an example of like a person of younger age down there who's like, who does know it, who's on this stream with us, sharing their thoughts like in a thoughtful way. So I think it just.
Braxton, how old are you?
I'm 43.
We're the same age.
I have younger I have younger brothers. You know, my youngest brother is.
Are you calling your brother stupid, Braxton?
You know, dude, look, man. You know, I can't stand talking to my brothers, my brother and his friends. Like, my brother's 29. You know, so. You know, he hangs out with kids who are in their mid and late 20s. And I just can't stand talking to those kids, dude. Like, I think they're so stupid.
I can't look at you with my eyes. I took my glasses off.
Patrick took his glasses off. All right, we're coming about. I think this means we've jumped the shark on this subject. Right now. But just real quick, Robbie, if you care to share someone in the audience. Oh, Jill wanted to know, when is your birthday, Robbie?
The 27th of January. I messaged you.
Oh, cool.
It's a week from today.
It's a week from today. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, cool. Oh my gosh, your birthday's like coming right up.
What are you gonna do?
Watch Star Trek.
Have you chosen what Star Trek you're? Have you like created like an agenda for the day?
I think it's The Voyage Home.
Oh, right. Right on.
Marcelo wanted to know if you were going to get drunk, dude.
That's not
no, I mean, he's already allowed to. In Scotland, you can drink at 16, 15?
I don't drink.
But if you could in Scotland, like you give a pint or something, right?
But could you if you wanted to?
Yeah, I could if I wanted.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's different in Europe. We have to wait till we're 20 freaking one. I mean, not all of us wait, but I waited till I was 20. I waited.
Of course you did.
I waited till I was 24. I waited longer.
Of course you did, Gur.
I did. She did. Anyways.
Are you serious right now?
What's
24?
that? 24? I waited till 24 to drink, yes.
Okay. All right.
I also waited for something else that's not appropriate till 24, but we'll talk about it another time.
Oh,
but
okay,
anyway,
that's interesting.
That's an after-dark topic.
I think I know what that is, but that's for another time.
Any final thoughts on this episode? And I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a 10, a solid 10. It's another 10 for me. I think Star Trek Prodigy is just crushing it. It's really a great show. In my opinion, especially for the wee ones. I can't wait to watch this show with my godson and see his reaction to all the visuals. He's really small. He's younger than the target audience, but I think he'll dig I think I'll curate an experience for him and he'll dig it. So yeah. Braxton, what do you, any final thoughts and give your rating for us?
So I didn't actually think this episode was as good as the last episode for me. So I gave the last episode an 8.3. So I'm going to give this one an 8. I liked the theme of teamwork, and then them showing us that. I really appreciated how Rock Top was like, oh, like I can't. And then at the end, she was like, "Oh, I can, I can, I can." And she's like, "Oh, like I learned all this math and I did all this stuff." And I was imagining, and like a hologram Janeway was like, "Oh, like Rock Talk, like she's been alone like so long." I was imagining that like her 10 minutes was like 2 years, and like she had been alone like for like 2 years, like doing all this math and like 270 times she had tried to
Oh
like
my
reconstruct
god.
Janeway's
Yeah, it's
program,
crazy.
and she was finally successful. And it made me think of like kids in the pandemic. And they were like, "Ooh, like how long you been
Oh, we didn't even touch
alone?"
on that. That's so
And it's like,
true.
"Ooh, like she's 8, but she's been like in the house, like on the computer, like for like 2 years." Like yeah.
You're so
Nice.
nailed it. You nailed it. Nice final thought. Dang. That's really good. That's like super. I see that. Yeah, very very cool. Wow. You poor kids growing up in these times. I feel fine. You down there, like give you a big hug, like a big hug. Uh, uh, yeah, that guy down there. Speaking of which, Robbie, you want to give us your final thoughts and a rating on this one?
I thought this was a good episode. I'm not sure whether it was as good as last week in terms of I quite like going and having an adventure and having a little child cruelty like Braxton up there.
Oh,
And
mother cruelty. What was it? Mother
mother
cruelty.
cruelty, sorry.
Did you watch Tangled, Braxton? Did you do your homework?
Oh
Did you
no, I
watch?
didn't watch Tangled.
Oh, we're gonna watch it together,
Should do a
Braxton.
watch
I'm gonna
along.
watch it with you. We're gonna
Dude,
watch it together.
you still haven't watched that movie that I told you to watch on YouTube, dude. I mean, on YouTube, on Hulu, dude. God's Own Country, dude. Dude, that movie is so good, dude.
It is. I have to watch it. Okay, deal. We're gonna watch those two movies together.
Okay,
Done.
okay.
Done. Sorry, Robbie. Carry on.
And I think the last episode is hard because this was a good episode for teamwork and maturing the characters, getting a little insight into the characters. But the last week was so fundamental with Nandi. I think they're probably the same level for me. They were just both fantastic episodes. And this episode had so much to juggle. This was like a 20-minute episode juggling so many things and a time travel plot, which some 40-minute episodes struggle to develop properly.
Well said. Yeah.
So I think I'd give this. I can't even remember what I gave last week. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 9. This show's not disappointed me once so far. Not a bad episode so far. And I think I was saying that I think this might be shaping up to be a better season. Actually, a better season than Lower Decks in terms of, not in terms of quality, but in terms of just variety of stories. Because
Wait. Hold on. Sorry, Robbie. Carry on, Robbie. Do it again, Patrick. Look.
I'm sorry. Not in terms of quality,
say your
but
piece. It's fine.
it's so different every week, and Lower Decks you kind of know what kind of tone you're getting every week, but this is going on an adventure. Now we've got a time travel idea. Now we're going in the holodeck, and we've got some nostalgia, and the characters are always moving in every episode. This has just been 8 episodes so far. We've got 12 to go this season, and these characters have already moved quite a lot in 20-minute episodes. It's impressive, to be honest.
Nice.
And I am so this generation are so lucky to have such a great kids show.
Well, you're the closest to that generation, so you're lucky too because you get to be that kid. for a little bit longer. Don't you dare grow up too fast, Robbie. Uh, don't you dare. Don't be rock talk. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Marcelo, do you want to share your final thoughts and give us a rating?
Yeah, like I said, this episode I thought was infinitely better than last week because y'all know what I thought about last week. I like the fact that we saw the team working together to solve a problem in this episode. I did have the issue with Janeway sort of explaining everything to the little kiddies in the audience, but I had to let that one go. But my adult brain couldn't do it all the way, but I understand why they did it. Yeah, so with all that being said, I thought that this was a good episode for a season of Star Trek Prodigy that I haven't been that impressed with. I thought that this was a really good episode of the first season. So I'll give this episode a 5.
Nice. Excellent. Patrick, will you tell us your final thoughts and rating?
Now that I know how the ratings work on this show,
There's just whatever you want to say. By the way, I'm so sorry. So Jill's right, by the way. Why do we have to rank among our favorite things? It's like splitting the baby. If I had started Starfleet Boy and didn't do like 300 episodes with ratings on it, I totally would have followed that model. But Tex Trek is right. He says, how can you distill your thoughts and feelings into just a number? It's true. But we do it. It's just a fun thing we do. It's a tradition. So I'm sorry if it bothers some folks. But yeah, we do it. It's just a fun thing. So don't take our ratings seriously, please. Except Marcelo's. Take his seriously. That's the only... But everyone else, we're
I
just
do
going
not,
by our...
guys. I do not f around. So take me seriously.
Yeah, but my ratings,
No.
I'm sorry, I give things a 10. It's recent. I'm a subject to recency bias. I'm sorry, like I just can't help it. I love it too much. And anyways, Patrick,
Subject to
I didn't mean to take away.
Oh
your
my
time.
god.
But yeah, so now that you know how the ratings work, Patrick, like what are you gonna give this episode?
I'm going to give this a 17.01.
Yes. A 17.01. Yes.
I loved this episode. Aaron Waltke was saying that they do know how much time like too long was. So
I don't want to know.
but I feel like it probably was like 2 years or more, Braxton. I agree. I just think it's good.
It's a really good freaking episode. This is like my favorite episode so far, I think. Like I really like this episode. Yeah.
But here's the
As you
thing,
say.
I get that though, because every week I'm like, this is the best Star Trek has been in such a long time. And every week I think that they raise the bar.
Yeah, I agree. And that's where I'm at too.
Also,
By the way, go
I
ahead.
didn't remember that Dahl did anything good because I disliked that character so much that I did not remember that he advanced the story at all.
He created the thing.
Braxton, preach.
But I'm glad you got reminded on this show, Braxton. That's what it's all about. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. You can check out Earl Grey Trekkie on his channel. That's Earl Grey Trekkie on YouTube. And we do a Doctor Who discussion weekly, and he's going to be producing... Well, I don't want to give away your stuff, but do you want to promote anything about your channel that's coming up?
I'm going to be putting out Prodigy reviews, albeit they'll be very late. But I've just been really enjoying the show, and I want to express that. And they're short episodes, so yeah, I'm going to do them.
Excellent. So look out for that. Go give him a subscribe. Patrick is not on YouTube, but should be. Yes, I declare it. But I'm so fortunate to have you on my show. Thank you for giving us your time. How can folks find you if they want to interact with you? Oh, is it Patrick Freeze? Oh, okay. How can folks interact with you?
On the internet, they can find me at PDP. That's Patrick Dale Patterson Does Trek on the tweet spaces.
Your middle name's Dale?
My middle name is Dale. That's my dad's first
That's
name.
a great middle name. In Miami, we pronounce Dale, the Hispanic community pronounces Dale, which means let's go.
Dale,
so you're,
yeah.
so you're Patrick, let's go.
Yeah. It's my dad. My dad's name is Dale Patrick Patterson.
Oh.
And I'm Patrick Dale Patterson.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bless.
So everyone follow Patrick. We are so happy you're on our show, Patrick. Thank you for coming. Marcelo, where can folks find you and what have you got going on your channels?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of stuff, but the sort of hub for everything I do is on Twitter. I'm at CreekFanatic88. Thank you for having me once again. And I just want to say publicly before I do it tomorrow, thank you for trusting me with your show, and I apologize if I burned the building down tomorroor.
Like Janeway said to Dal
in
in this episode, you're gonna do great, kid. You're gonna do it.
Great.
You've got the ingenuity. I believe in you. I trust you. I believe in you.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. At least at least I'll have Ruben there, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, he's good at playing video games on the air all night long and chiming in whenever you need him to. Braxton, how can folks find you on the internet and interact with you?
Leviathan026 on Twitter. Tweet me.
Woohoo! Yes, tweet Braxton. Braxton's a lovely person, and we're going to follow along and get updates on your move and see how wonderful everything ends up being with that. A couple last comments. Tech Trek gives it 47 foxes eating chickens out of 6 time phases. And I don't want to forget to promote both our TOS discussions, which take place Saturday at 3, our Star Trek Picard watch-along that takes place on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So please check those out. And, of course, Starfleet Boy After Dark tomorrow. Don't forget to check out Tex Trek tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Guys, thank you so much. Audience, thank you. You guys were awesome. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all your comments. Live long and prosper. We will